Hey everybody, how's it going? Get Me Out here, and welcome to my set of Theorycraft videos for Darkmoon Faire. So we're trying something a little bit new this expansion. We're going to be doing 2 classes per video to save myself and you guys just a little bit of time. So what you guys can do is down in the description, or there's little chapters here on YouTube, you guys can go ahead and skip to whatever class you're interested in. For each of these classes, each class will have 4 decks, so at least 2 meta and at least 2 off-meta decks that each use at least 1 new card. So that way everybody has a little bit of something, right? Regardless of how you play this game, what rank you play this game, what classes you enjoy, what archetypes you enjoy, there's a little bit of something for everybody. If you guys want to check out any of these gameplay live, so if you guys want to check out any of the gameplay of these decks that I'm talking about tonight live, make sure you guys head on over to my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/getmeout, and drop a follow so that you guys know when I go live, so that you can watch me play and refine any of these deck lists once the expansion drops. If you guys are looking for any refined deck lists as we move through the first couple of weeks of the expansion, make sure you guys join my Discord or follow me over on Twitter, or I'll be posting any of the lists once I'm happy with them for every class and any deck that I play. And if you guys miss any of that, gameplay highlights will be uploaded to YouTube, pretty frequently for the next month or two. So make sure you guys drop a sub here if you guys enjoy my content. For each of these videos, if you guys are looking for deck lists, make sure you guys check the description down below, where you will find links to a spreadsheet and all the codes for the specific decks and classes that we talk about. If you guys enjoy my content, make sure you guys leave a like and head down to the comments to let me know what you guys think about my list and what you guys might be trying out once the expansion drops. I hope you guys enjoy, and with all of that being said, let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so in this video we're going to be talking about Paladin and Priest. So Paladin got a couple of interesting cards for the pure archetypes, and then Oh My Yogg, the one that everybody's freaking out about. So we're going to go and just start off. Let's talk about Odd Paladin. I know everybody's kind of screaming about Lothraxion. If you guys are interested in why it's not in this list, make sure you guys check out the most recent episode of the State of Wild, our podcast, where we kind of have a little bit of a discussion, Corbett and I, about why we're not so high on the card. And if you disagree, let me know in the comments below. But this is the list that I recommend for day 1 climbing for Odd Paladin. There is only 1 new card. Yes, I'm not running the Carnival Barker. Yes, I'm not running Lothraxion. Yes, I am not trolling. I do not think those cards are good enough. But Oh My Yogg is insanely strong. Very, very good card. Kind of replaces the Never Surrenders in this list. And the rest of it just looks pretty normal, right? Normal list for Odd Paladin, nothing fancy. Odd Paladin has been one of the top decks in the format since its inception 2.5 years ago. The deck is very, very strong, and will be. So, and will be for a long time coming. Yeah, nothing really exciting here. So let's go ahead and move on to our next set of decks. So the next 3 decks that I'm going to be talking about are all pure decks. And the reason I've built so many is because of the new High Exarch Urel, which is basically Ziliax on steroids. She's an 8-mana 7/5 that gains Rush, Lifesteal, Taunt, and Divine Shield if you have if your deck has no neutral cards. Which, Ziliax is probably the most played neutral card. Who knows? But it's a very, very good card, and Urel is also a very, very, very good card. So of the 3, let's go ahead and start off with Librams. So this is pretty much the most straightforward build of the deck. Of the 3, just plug and play all the Libram cards, play all the good stuff, play Liadrin, play Lunessa, and then we're playing Double Steed. I'm running 2 first day of schools because we don't have stuff like Broomstick or Pinflingers to help us recover board tempo. And so instead of running the Allura high roll, I'm just trying to run first day of school to make sure that we have the consistent 1-drops so that I can go hand of a dollar Libram of Wisdom on turn 2. We'll see how well those play out. I think first day of school is a very underrated card in general in the format. It's pretty good. If it turns out that we want Allura plus something else for the potential high roll, the Libram of Hopes or Steeds, then we can kind of go from there. But I'm going to be starting off with double first day of school on day 1. The next pure deck that I want to talk to you guys about is pure Secret Paladin. So of course this is using Oh My Yogg and Urel as well. But this is kind of how Secret Paladin has treaded previously, running a lot of the pure cards, running Commander Risa, running Bellringer Sentries, running Mysterious Challengers. The rest of the deck is pretty straightforward. The secret composition can change, or the number of secrets, but I think 7 to 8 is the normal, and so that's what we've got in there right now. Again, first day of school is to give us 1-drops because there are no really good 1-drops. The first day of school might be just like a Lost in the Jungle. That honestly might be better. But yeah, the rest of the deck is pretty straightforward. I think there's one flex spot right now, which is the Keeper of Uldaman. That can be an Eldor Peacekeeper. That can be a Barov, depending on what you want. But right now, I think Keeper is just, for me, what I've got slotted in, just because I'm a big fan of the card anyways. And it synergizes nicely with a lot of our deck. And the last deck that we're going to be talking about is Pure Dude Paladin. So of course, when you see stuff like Lothraxion, you've got to at least try it out in the Pure build. And Lothraxion can fit in the Pure build just because the Pure build plays slower anyways, because you have stuff like Urel and the Crusader and the Tarim. But I will go ahead and tell you, summoning 1 dude a turn instead of 2 from your hero power makes this deck a lot slower. And slower for our aggro decks in the format feels really weird to play. But maybe just like the pure payoff cards, maybe the Zealot, maybe the Urel, maybe the Crusader, maybe just being able to run Tarim finally is pushing like the synergy to the point where it's potentially playable in the format again. Maybe dudes are back, and only time will tell. We'll check it out and see how it plays. All right, and so moving into our last 2 Paladin decks, the first one I want to talk about is kind of Menagerie Paladin. So of course with NZoth and then new cards like Red Scale, Dragon Tamer, I just wanted to try out a little bit of a Menagerie package. This plays like mid-range Paladin, which means it's probably not playing well, but if you guys have ideas on how to play it or build it so that's a little bit faster, let me know. But basically, it's good stuff on curve Paladin, right? Good drops on 1, Hand of Adal, Murger, Tamer, Minibot, Shotbot on 2. Muster on 3, buffs on 4. A lot of the cards that we're putting in here synergize really nicely with Corpse Taker, so that's currently in here for a little bit. We don't have Wind Fury, just because like the 3/5 Elemental with Wind Fury just didn't seem strong enough. Maybe I'm underestimating that card. And then NZoth is kind of like your finisher. Like these builds used to run stuff like Tarim, like mid-range Paladin just used to run stuff like Tarim as their top end, or Rag. Our top end's a little bit more expensive, but it brings back a lot more stuff. So we'll see how this build works, and it's probably going to be a lot of fun to play, just because it's going to remind me of mid-range Paladin of old, which was a really fun deck, one of my favorites. And so we'll see how this one goes as well. And last but not least for Paladin, we've got Even Paladin, a deck that's just always forgotten about because it's always in the shadow of its disgusting odd brother. But yeah, I mean, Even Paladin is a deck that a couple of the GMs have been playing in Wild a little bit and trying out. And I've played it to a fair bit of success. Played about 15-20 games of it in Skullman's Academy, and it felt surprising. And I think it takes a lot of people off guard because it's not a meta deck, and a lot of people don't know what to play around or what exactly what they're playing against. Basically, what this does is it always sticks dudes, right? With a bunch of Divine Shields. Corpse Taker's kind of fantastic in this build. And then you stick the minions, and then you stick it with Dinosize or Steed or Valinor buffs or Blessing of Kings, and you hit him in the face. It's a lot of fun to play. Even Paladin was, like I said, one of my favorite standard decks. Never really transitioned into Wild after they nerfed Call to Arms. It just kind of died out and really hasn't been explored any further. But with the new card of Fantastic Firebird, kind of enabling Corpse Taker to be pretty strong on this list, I just wanted to revisit it and see if it potentially had some legs in the format. We'll see. But that's why it's down here in the memes. I don't foresee Even Paladin being an insanely good deck, but for those of you that are reminiscing about the good old days like I do, feel free to check out some Even Paladin. Alright, moving into Priest. So 2 meta Priest decks that got a little bit better. Reno Priest is the first one I want to talk about just because it's quick and dirty. Insight is pretty insanely strong, and it makes Reno Priest a lot better of a deck. Feel free to check that out. It's good. It's Farsight, more card draw that discounts good in Priest. It's 2 mana, so it's really easy to corrupt. And then you have Palm Reading. So this is a card that I've put in here. Discover a spell, reduce the cost of spells in your hand. So it allows you to discover a situational spell, right? More gas for Anduin, and then discounts the cost of spells in your hand by 1, which is pretty powerful for your Anduin pop-off turns anyways. Reno Priest is the best deck in the format. I still foresee it being the best deck in the format, and it's getting a little bit of help. Yeah, that's Priest for you. And then the other meta priest deck, we've got Big Priest again. We talked about this one on the State of Wild, so make sure you guys check out that episode for a little bit of insight about how we built it and why we're running some of the cards. But basically, kind of the big buffs here. Palm reading, right? Palm reading good, Blood of Gahoon good. We're from the list that we talked about on our podcast. We're down 1 Psychic Scream, up 1 Ziliax, just because Ziliax off of stuff like Shadow Essence is pretty good, and off of Gahoon is pretty good, and it gives you a little bit more, resiliency to aggressive decks, which is kind of what I foresee the format being full of the first week or so. If you're queuing into a lot more slower decks, feel free to take out the Ziliax and put in something like the second Psychic Scream. But yeah, that's Big Priest. You'll probably never catch me playing this deck, but if you guys want it, here it is. Feel free to play it. I won't judge you. And then the last 2 meme decks that I want to talk about for Priest. The first one's kind of Miracle Priest. Essentially trying to take advantage of Nazmani, Bloodweaver, and Palm Reading. These are the new cards that discount stuff in your hand, allowing you to have more insane miracle turns. Draw through your entire deck, play a bunch of Giants and Grateful War, and then a Lucia so that your opponent can't answer. But yeah, this is a deck that saw fringe play in the format, and I'm excited to try it out. But yeah, Miracle Priest, kind of a classic, getting a little bit of buffs with Nazmani, Bloodweaver to kind of help make those combo turns more consistent, and Palm Reading, of course, discounts are good. And last but not least for Priest, I wanted to kind of take another crack at Mind Blast Priest. So this is kind of an archetype that's fallen off as the format's gotten faster and faster. And essentially, I'm kind of low on Emperor Thorson. The one-turn setup that a lot of the combo decks enable make it really easy for people to disrupt or know when to disrupt. And it makes your combo just a little bit slower. With stuff like Palm Reading and Nazmani Bloodweaver, being able to discount your Mind Blast means that you potentially don't have to Emperor Thorson, right? And being able to do things while discounting your combo is a very, very strong thing. You're not, taking a ton of tempo off. Or kind of just passing your turn by playing a 5/5, or having to find an opening to play a 5/5. And Mind Blast Priest is where I got most of my wins on Priest from. And so with stuff like Insight, with stuff like Palm Reading, with stuff like the Nazmani Bloodweaver, I'm excited to see kind of if this build of Mind Blast Priest can kind of take off. I am missing Northshire Clerics. They probably should be in here over something like the Cabal Acolyte Wave of Apathy package, but that's proven to be a really, really strong kind of package. That plus the Potion of Menace in Inner Fire Priest, and so I wanted to try it out in the Dragon Mind Blast Priest. But again, I don't have super high hopes, but again, Mind Blast Priest was one of my favorite decks, and something that I always kind of come back to and see, did it get anything? Can we help it out? And I'm excited to try it out, and hopefully Nazmani Bloodweaver and Palm Reading puts in work. We'll see. But yeah, that's going to be the Paladin and Priest decks. Of course, the meta decks, Odd Paladin, Reno Priest, Big Priest getting a lot of buffs, and then me kind of reminiscing about my old days, hoping to build a bunch of decks that I used to play, and hopefully they are playable in the format again. We'll see. Let me know what you guys think of the list, and I hope you guys enjoy them if you do play them, and let me know how they go for you. I hope you guys enjoyed them, and I will see you guys next time. Later.